You're watching Lansdowne Raw, the voice of the fans. I'm Martin Prendergast, joined by Conor McAvoy as we catch up on all the latest news in Irish football. Evan Ferguson is on the scoring run, and Troy Parrott scores again. Here we go. It's Lansdowne Raw and it's live. Hit the music, Conor, will ya? How you doing? Scoring run. Jesus, there we go.
Scoring run.
Ferguson, of course,
yeah, you're getting a bit ahead of yourself.
Start of a scoring run. Anyway, a bit chaotic of a start there. Jeez, we've got a bit of a new platform for me to try and deal with here. But yeah, very welcome to another Lansdowne Raw Lansdowne Raw live. Jesus, long time since I've
going to kill you.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, very welcome to another show. We've got 300 of you watching already. Fantastic, even though I've effed up the start. But yeah, brilliant to see so many of you join us this evening. And if you are new to the channel, please make sure you enjoy the show, interact with the show. We're the most interactive Irish football podcast out there. Make sure you do subscribe, turn on your notifications, and you'll get notified, of course, for when we are doing our live shows and all the other videos that we send out. And if you do want to support the show, of course, you can do so by, how can I do that, Conor? Come on, you should have this stuff ready. You can buy us a coffee. Here it is, support the page, buy us a coffee. The link is in the description below. And if you do want to support us a bit extra and get extra content from Lansdowne Raw, you can also join us at Lansdowne Raw Plus. That's $4.99 a month to support that. A number of you do, so it's fantastic to see some of you already on the show this evening. But that's another way of supporting us and what we do. Anyway, Conor, that's it. Maybe I'm kind of thrown this evening by a poor performance by Man United, and a disappointing first 10 minutes for me watching Seamus Coleman, his 16th season where he has started a match for Everton. What an amazing player he is. And sadly, it only lasted 10 minutes. We'll come on to talk about that a little bit more as well. But yeah, disappointing night at Old Trafford for us as Man United fans. But we're not here to talk about that. There's lots to obviously talk about on the show this evening. But we do want your interaction. Most interactive Irish football podcast out there. I can see the comments coming in already. And we're going to be obviously chatting about Troy Parrott's incredible scoring form continuing. Evan Ferguson off the mark, and we'll catch up with Conor on Obig. I'm sure it's already about how the lads got over the weekend. And yeah, that's it, Conor. How are you anyway this evening? You must be a bit depressed watching Man United, but I know you're going to be very positive about Irish football.
Yeah, but I'm never surprised watching Man United anymore, so it's not like it's a big shock. I'm still buzzing over Troy Parrott, to be honest, because we'll have that to look forward to, and I'll always have that to look forward to. So yeah, it's still exciting times. I don't really care too much about United tonight, to be honest. All my focus is on Ireland, and after what was, I put it lightly, was an outstanding weekend from an Irish point of view. It was one of the best weekends from Irish point of view since the start of the season, probably the best. Everyone kind of was building on from the buzz of Troy Parrott's goal, and things just got better and better. So it was, for once of the weekend this season, which has actually been quite painful and quite hard to kind of cover as such. It's been quite a good buzz to finally have a weekend that I can enjoy watching Irish players and not get abuse from people telling me that I'm always positive, I'm too positive. There was good reason to back up my positivity this weekend. But yeah, glad to be back on and have hopefully a positive talk about Irish football. But anyway, how are you doing?
Yeah, all good. Positive from an Irish angle as well for my beloved Enfield Town. Cian Dillon back on loan from QPR with Enfield Town. Had a horrendous start to the season, really, Enfield. I've had a lot of changes, obviously, at National League South, but Cian Dillon's back on loan from them and made his first game back for Enfield. Started, assisted 3, scored 1. Enfield won 5-1. That's the biggest result they've had in National League South. So fantastic 5-1 win in a really awful rainy day Bryant Stadium there in Enfield Town. Awful conditions, but yeah, I had a good catch up with him after. Wished him well, of course, for the season. You know, I'd be getting involved there, Conor. No surprise. But also, I did ask him how he was getting on at Torquay. He was on loan there. He said it didn't really work out there. He's quite happy to be back at Enfield Town. But yeah, scoring form. Fantastic goal. So hopefully he'll kick on now. I think it's a bit disappointing, obviously, he didn't get any game time with the under-21s. And that didn't go down at all well with Enfield Town because we've struggled for players at the best of times. And yeah, but that was where I actually watched
Enfield Town. Enfield Town can't complain about a lad that's getting called up to an international squad, not getting game time, because when did they ever get lads ever called up to internationals at any level?
You're
Yeah, but
joking, aren't you?
still,
You
like,
had another lad at the Virgin Islands, Gallimore. He's playing for the Virgin Islands, one of the lowest ranked teams in FIFA. So we had 2 international players. They should have called off the game. It's very desperate, I know.
it's like
But
4 or
anyway,
something,
but
isn't it?
great to see him
Like,
anyway, and he's done fantastically well. So yeah, good to see him. Hopefully, he gets a good run now, and seems to have bulked up a bit, which is good to see from when he kind of helped the team stay up last season. So great to see him back at Enfield
yep.
Town. He'll get plenty of game time there anyway. But yeah, a good weekend, I think, overall. As you said, it's costing me money, Connor. This idea of heads in the game, the lads start scoring, and it costs me money.
Yeah, I
But
think what if I'm counting yesterday, I think it's €6 off the top of my head so far. Anyway, I think it's €6 from this week. Yeah, I think it's the biggest week so far. So I think that was our biggest week so far,
most
Martin. Anyway,
expensive week for us. You mean? Yeah. Okay.
yeah. So
All right.
but
So
that's actually considering that was just off weekend games. That wasn't off. Just the there's just the weekend rather than sometimes it's midweek as well. So I'm just looking at the YouTube here. For some reason, it's on is it on? If anyone's watching YouTube, is it coming up as a vertical view just for you? Because I'm just after checking the YouTube there by my screen, and it's just coming up as a vertical view rather than the full screen. But I'll need to figure out. And yeah, but anyway, if you're watching YouTube, make sure you like the video anyway. But I'm just a bit confused. I'm trying to sort that at the moment. But anyway, we'll keep working away.
there is the button to hide the vertical. Should I do that or not? No.
That's hiding it from ours, I think.
Oh, is it? Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's
okay.
just ours.
Anyway, we're trying a few different things on the show. So yeah, blame Dave.
I did try that. It automatically put that on itself earlier. So I'm trying to figure out how to fix that because it shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah. So all the usual tonight. We'll obviously go through OBIG, but yeah, we've got to start with the big stories. And this is after an incredible few weeks for Ireland. Really, we've exciting weeks getting the draw. Obviously, we were up at Ellen Road recently for the Football Content Awards, where Dave, we better not talk about that too much because Dave is still very, very saddened by what happened there. The great robbery of Ellen Road is what we're going to call it. But thank you for everyone who did support us and vote for us. It came to nothing, so you need to vote a lot more next year when we're hopefully nominated again. But yeah, fantastic experience being up there. We had a good night, and yeah, good catch up, obviously. But yeah, not much more to say on that one. But Dave was very, very upset at stages. So send out your best wishes to Dave on the show if you wouldn't mind. How can we cheer up Dave? Is one of the challenges for this evening. But we do want your interaction. We want your comments. Let us know your views of who stood out for you. If you went to any football over the weekend, who you're looking forward to seeing, or who you're even predicting is going to make a late run for this Ireland squad for the World Cup. Any players you think are going under the radar? We'll have Connor's input, of course, into that. But let us know what your thoughts are. And also, let's have a chat about the interesting quotes, I think, from Heimer during the week, suggesting that the FAI should look at putting the away fans up in the gods, basically. It didn't really work out very well. We did that in Lansdowne Road when England came to visit in 1995. But should we be so accommodating and welcoming to the away fans? So that's a question I've got for the Raw faithful this evening who are watching along.
Yeah,
and,
we can talk about ourselves, Martin. But just actually, I need to interrupt you here. For some reason, as Daniel Mullen has said, there's 2 streams on YouTube. I did get because it came up earlier, 2 were scheduled, and I got Dave to delete one, which he did do in fairness. But I believe what has happened with this new update to StreamYard that we use as for streaming, it has put 2 streams up, one where you can watch vertically and one where you can watch horizontally. So if you don't enjoy watching this vertically on YouTube, which I couldn't imagine you do, there's another stream, and I don't know why it's doing that, but thankfully I think all the comments here together. So don't think your comments are going to get read out if you're on the wrong one. But yeah, I'm a bit surprised why that has come up anyway. But Martin, are you, before we could, might be worth saying actually, what do you think Heimer's comments about putting away fans up in the gods?
I think it's a brilliant point, to be honest. We're far too welcome. And I think what he's thinking is if that went to a penalty shootout, the influence that the away fans could have behind the goal, as he kind of alluded to. But, anywhere we go around the world watching Ireland, we are put up in, we get some premium tickets, don't we, or category A's or whatever they are. And they're down behind the benches, but they're basically, players, family and friends kind of tickets now. It seems to be a thing that is a bit of a deal on those going on. But the rest of the fans, we're up in the gods, behind netting or behind glass sometimes. It's not the most welcoming, and even you think about that incredible moment when Troy Parrott scored the winning goal against Hungary. You can hear the crowd go silent, of course, but then you hear this kind of distant sound as the kind of fans erupt up in the gods, basically, in Budapest. So it's not fantastic from a viewing point of view as well. But you think about Lansdowne Road, the away fans behind that goal in the lower end, the lower stand end, in the north stand, they do have great views. They can make it quite hostile there. They'd be quite loud. It comes across quite well on the telly all the time as well. You do see the presence of the away fans. And I know it's done for policing as well, because it's easy to bring them out around the back of the kind of the rugby kind of club there, and between the Astro pitch and things there. So I can understand why they do it. The problem the FAI are going to have trying to implement Heimer's suggestion is the season ticket renewal. It would mean that if you do have, it wouldn't impact many people, I don't think. But well, let's be honest, it's 3,000 or 4,000 perhaps, depending on the allocation we're giving them. So it would be moving those people for one game down behind the goals, and that's the only way they've got to kind of look at it. But they're in a good position, the FAI, with this draw, because they can sell tickets and season tickets on the back of this draw, of course, and the World Cup qualification still being open. So they are going to sell tickets on the back of that for a game that may mean nothing on that Tuesday night in Dublin. So there's an opportunity to do it. I just don't know if they're going to have the resources to kind of facilitate that. But I think they should take it on board and try to do it if they can, because I think obviously from a security perspective as well, you've got to think, who's the opposition going to be? Denmark or North Macedonia? They're not going to bring any trouble, so you can do it. And I think they should have a little bit of a plan for that in future. What's your thoughts on it? Do you think I'm right, as I usually am?
Yeah, the exact same. Yeah, I totally agree. And I don't think it is as big an issue. I think with policing and even season ticket holders, because who doesn't want to get moved down closer towards the pitch? Who doesn't want to be near the ground? You want to be where the better atmosphere is going to be. And reality is, yeah. But thing is, a lot of the seats up there in the gods are in the gods for a reason, and that's not where fans really want to sit. And you can easily throw away fans up there, and you're known about policing and stuff. But it's not a problem in any other country around the world that we go to. With Budapest, with Lisbon, Wembley is kind of the only one that has really good. In England, actually, in general, they've quite good away, where the fans. But it only seems to be really in Ireland in international football to put them in good places. But I don't know what the situation is, whether the FAI can put ahead of that or go ahead with that, or is that just a generic thing that the rugby has as well, and it's a rule that's put down and they can't move where it is. But the thing is, at the end of the day, it's not something I'd lose sleep over, to be honest, because the reality is, if the players are going to be good enough on the night, they can go and get the job done. But I know it's them little 1% that do add up, but I don't think it's the end of the world if away fans are still down at the bottom, because the reality is, if we go 1-0 up early, or we are battering a team like we did Portugal, the way end will go quiet very, very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things is that at the back of the north stand as well, two things I make the point on this. When they don't have a huge allocation for away fans, they normally just get the bottom west, don't they? Right down in front of where actually the media are. So when Tony O'Donoghue's doing pre-match interviews and stuff like that, it's actually in front of them. It's not a great position anyway. For the away fans to be down there and interrupting that, but that's where they normally are. And if they get a bigger allocation, they kind of encroach round and they do get the bottom of the north stand. But I think it's really important, even going forward now. And I think it's not too late to do this, because there will be renewals, of course, and it is upsetting a few people. But I don't think anyone's going to be too disrupted by it, in a sense, because they can move them into, someone's in the upper level there. You can just move over to the upper, it's only a small section that you're actually moving. Like I said, 3,000 seats. But I think it's quite important to try and do it. And I think really the other point of it would be the north stand lower. You could fill that, like we used to have the schoolboy terrace and stuff, but you can absolutely fill that. And look how good it looks, Connor, on FAI Cup final day, when fans are there. And no, we don't want the pyro, of course, but it's that what you want, isn't it? You want the atmosphere going from both ends. So we've got, you'd have the fans up against each other, singing against each other, the same supporters though. Okay, so that's something that perhaps they should look at as well, because it would just visually look so good if they had the flags and banners and everything up there. Like I'm thinking back to when the Welsh came, they had loads of banners. England did, of course, as well when they came over to Lansdowne Road as well. So I think it's just something that we need to consider, see if they can do it, and look at seeing if they can get the
If
get
not,
that
who
done.
cares?
Yeah, exactly. Just don't make a big thing of it, because it will be something that the FAI will get hammered for, and it might actually be on their control. I mean, just one quote already. Just a comment there from KK Keelers. Welcome to the show. They said they can't, unfortunately, as FAI don't have full control over the Aviva. I don't know how that is the case, because they are able to, as I said, facilitate smaller crowds in the West Lower. Keep having to do my geography in my head, thinking of locations within the ground. They are able to do that already now. It will just be security in and out of the stadium, but they can do that. And the other thing that they can do is, if they're worried about that, they do what we get done to us every away game, when we get locked in for 40 minutes, and you say, there you go, just crack on, and just be hospitable to them like that.
And David Dunn is a security officer. He'd do it for us. He'd love that authority, wouldn't he? But head of a security at an Ireland match rather than doing the show, he'd love that.
Heading over. If someone gets a bit loud or something, he'd be going over to sort them out.
Yeah, just a little job's worth what he is. You just know he's a job's worth, don't you?
Yeah. Give us your views, of course, though. Let us know what your thoughts are on that. The Heimer quotes during the week, where he said that we should be less hospitable to the opposition when they come to Dublin. We'll obviously be there. We'll have everything covered for the incredible to look forward to. I mean, it's months away, but and I know there's lots of comments tonight that asking us who we think we'd actually be predicting will be playing in that game and things like that, or squads and things. So we're looking forward to getting through to all of that. But let us know your views as well. Do you think that's a good suggestion? Are you going to the game in March, or trying to get season tickets to secure your ticket for that game? And have you booked for the away game? Because we're getting incredible comments, aren't we, Connor? Messages asking about tickets, and demand is going to be incredible. We're not going to get lots of tickets, of course. So we just have to have a look at trying to what best way the FAI are probably going to have to think about. That's something that they may have to think about, being involved with fans traveling over there. Will they create a fan zone in Czechia? That's something I've seen. Well, they were
not create a fan zone for the away playoff.
Not necessarily the FAI having to get involved in it, but from a security point of view, they will be concerned about loads of fans heading over there.
They won't. Not as many will go as what's booked. Like, a lot of people will pull out last minute because they know they're going to get a ticket, but they're not going to mill a fan zone.
Okay.
If they do, I'll give you 100 quid. I'll give you 100 quid if they do.
Right. Okay.
But they won't do it. But anyway, Martin, speak what we're here to speak about. We didn't even mean to speak about that. We've got what you brought that up. You cheeky git. So anyway, what are we here to speak about, Martin?
We are here to talk about the flying form. The flying form of Troy Parrott.
Who the F is the flying form?
The flying form. He's in flying form.
Yeah, but the flying form is a bit of a strange terminology. The flying,
really, the player. Sorry, the player in flying form. Sorry,
it's like because you're saying someone called form is flying. But anyway,
the player in flying form. Our form player. Yeah, go on.
Our form player. One of the form players in Europe. What a season has been for Mr. Parrott so far. 19 games played, 19 goals. He's absolutely tearing up everywhere he goes. We thought it couldn't get better for him after last weekend, after the airport was renamed after him. I think Dublin Airport on Twitter is still called Troy Parrott International Airport, which they must take a bit of credit for, because I thought they would have just changed it after like a day or something, but they're sticking with it for now anyway. He's the love of the nation. He's the love of the internet. He's adored by everyone, which is mad to think, isn't it? That everyone across the world is loving Troy Parrott. He's everyone's darling. And he took it even further, brought it into this week. He took the ball on the half turn off his left foot inside the box, shifted it back over, and smashed it off the post into the bottom corner. An outstanding finish, from what you can say, is an outstanding footballer. I was thinking the other day, who are the form strikers in Europe? And obviously, you'd say Harry Kane and Erling Haaland are probably the top two in terms of form. I think Parrott could be number 3 in current form in Europe at the moment. I don't know who really stands out as the third option, maybe, but I think Parrott's really put himself up there. Obviously, it doesn't mean he's the third best striker in Europe, but in terms of form, as I said last week, at international break alone, he was the best player in the world. No one in the world produced more than he did, and I think he won UEFA Player of the Round for both match days, which says enough how good of a campaign he had. So I think we all love Troy Parrott. We all want to guide us to glory. And the question now is he going to take us to the World Cup, and is he going to stay at AZ Alkmaar for longer than what he's there at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big question, isn't it? I mean, look, fair play to him. I mean, he went away. Yeah, he got his game time over there. Very popular as well. I mean, I heard today it's the biggest selling shirt, isn't it, in the Netherlands now? Alkmaar's one from their club, I suppose. But I'm sure Irish fans are buying them, as we have with the Roma shirt as well when Evan first went there. So yeah, I'm sure that's on a lot of people's Christmas present list. But yeah, look, fantastic to see. He's in flying form, as I said. That's why I said the phrase flying form. Can't stop scoring, and that's really, really important, obviously. And hopefully he's going to just keep kicking on with that. And it was a decent goal. I know they lost, but nice little goal. Just showing when he is fit what he can offer, and he's a confidence player now, and it is fantastic to see. So yeah, I hope that continues. We need him fit, because let's be honest, traveling away to Czechia, and then hopefully with that final a few days later in Dublin. If Troy Parrott is fit, it's it's a big that's something that they've got to be worrying about. Any opposition are going to be thinking, how do we stop him? That is going to be something, because even it's just strong mentality with it. I've often been critical of Ireland, some of their players being weak mentally. I think back to the penalty, a big pressure penalty there, and he was waiting for the referee to blow the whistle and things like that. But he stood up, took it, fantastic. So and delivered in those key moments. So that's the situation, I think, with him. Fantastic to see. But also, Connor, we have another player who is also hopefully going to be starting his journey in flying form, because Evan Ferguson, fantastic to see, actually. He got his first goal, didn't he, for Roma, wearing that amazing shirt as well, the away one, very Irish theme, that one. But nice goal as well. And great to see, wasn't it? Off the score sheet.
Yeah, he wasn't the only. Obviously, Tom Cannon got his first goal of the season as well, and other lads on Real we'll get into in a big, really. But yeah, what a moment for Evan. You could see the joy in his face after he scored that goal. It was like the way the world had come off his shoulders, and it wasn't just a goal. He had a really good performance when he came on, and I was delighted he got 30 minutes in the legs after missing, what was it, 2 weeks and a half. But the reality was he kind of missed more than that, because he had missed a bit of time, and then he got back himself fit, and then he got injured after, what was it, 18 seconds that tackle was on him in that Parma game, and then, or was Parma or Genoa, 1-2, and he needed to get back to himself after Troy. But there was a lot of pressure on him actually after Troy, because I know everyone was saying, "Oh, who wants Evan Ferguson? Who needs Evan Ferguson now?" And it's like, come on, like, he's still Evan Ferguson, and he came on really well. And that finish was a lovely finish past the keeper. I know you could say it was one of them ones where you should be scoring, but he still hit it on target, and he's shown how good he really is as a player. When he came on, I thought he was excellent. What's it? His first goal on a Roma shirt, first goal of the season, not counting Ireland matches, and looked really, really good when he came on. Couldn't have asked for much more. He was doing a bit of a shush when he scored. A few people weren't happy with that, I believe. But like, it's the sort of thing, maybe because it's shushing the haters, because you don't realise how much hate these lads get online, particularly someone Evan, he's 20 years of age, like, or he's so young and full in terms. So yeah, the sky's the limit. Hopefully, it's the first of many in a Roma shirt. I'm guessing he'll start on Thursday in the Europa League. He Dovbyk is injured at the moment, but Dovbyk wasn't really starting even when he was fit. Shows where he's thought of by Gasparini. And Gasparini, you could see how happy he was when Evan scored, actually, after he had got sent off for fighting with the referee. So yeah, Roma seems a bit of a mad club, but it could all work out for Evan if he stays fit and it all goes right over the next couple of months. And what a problem it could be for an Irish fans to have is that we are arguing who should start up front for Ireland between you'd say two lads who could end up tearing it up in European leagues, which we've never really had before. So, and actually, first Irish goal scorer since 1985 in Italy. I actually didn't realise that Robbie Keane had never scored in the Serie A when he was there, which is quite crazy when you think back on it now after the career he's had. But yeah, since his fellow St Kevin's boys star Liam Brady scored in 1985, he is the first Irishman to score since then. Been a long time coming, but yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah. I mean, it's amazing stat. Actually, I kind of did think that Robbie hadn't scored there. To be honest, that's just might show my knowledge of football, of yours, Connor. No, I mean he struggled to get into team over there. Rightly so. He had Ronaldo up against him and everything, didn't he? Incredible team that he
Yeah, but it's
joined.
one goal. I think he didn't score one goal in the
Yeah,
season. Yeah, it's mad. I think, yeah.
Yeah, he didn't play an awful lot though. That was the thing, and
Yeah.
but what he learned over there, that's my thing about Evan going there and even Troy going. What he learned over there was incredible because he just drew fouls for nothing in the end. Robbie Keane, he was so clever from it. So yeah, great grounding in Italy. Although I know you're not a fan of it from the academy perspective. But
it's
yeah,
different.
look,
First team football.
Oh, I know that. It's a different game completely, though, isn't it? Pacer game as well. But yeah, look, a little drop the name drop in there, Connor, because talking about Liam Brady, a former guest of we've had him on a live show with us, haven't we, in the past that we've done? So yeah, nice little link there. We're going to come on to Obig now, where we're going to have a chat about how the lads got on over the weekend. But before we do so, just make sure you have subscribed to the show. We really do appreciate your support, of course. And if you do want to support the show again further, you can support the page, buy us a coffee. Link is in the description below. And then for extra content, we have Lansdowne Raw Plus. So I know we've got a number of new viewers of the show now, and this is something we do. We do a live show every week. Sometimes we do 2, sometimes we do 3. Lots of videos going out there. The lads done a fantastic job about League of Ireland. The awards show, didn't you, Connor? And that's going to be, is that out yet?
No, tomorrow.
No, that's out tomorrow. So that's something to look forward to. And yeah, we've got lots and lots of plans for the show. We've got a live show coming up soon, actually, in December that we'll have to do a special announcement for, won't we, Connor? Won't give it away yet. But yeah, we've got that coming up. And yeah, so if you do want to support us, it really is appreciated. But we love your interaction. We've got 1,200 of you watching tonight already on a Monday night when there's lots of other distractions going on. But let's get on to Obig. So Obig's where we obviously do how the lads got on over the weekend. Any mistakes in the video, we'll blame Dave. Here we go. This is the goalkeepers. Right, goalkeepers who play for Ireland. This is how they got on over the weekend. Queeveen Kelleher, 90 minutes in a 2-1 loss versus Brighton. Max O'Leary, an unused sub for Bristol City. Josh Keeley, 90 minutes in a 5-0 loss versus Barnsley. Mark Travers, an unused sub for Everton. And Gavin Bazunu, 90 minutes in a 5-1 win versus Charlton for Southampton.
Yeah.
So Connor,
Josh Keeley.
Goals. Poor Josh Keeley.
Josh Keeley, yeah, they got battered by Barnsley, and Luke O'Connell, in fairness, had scored an unbelievable free kick. I think it was the goal to make it 5-0. But yeah, Didsey didn't even start the game, and Luton still got battered. So not a good day for Jack Wilshere's men. Thankfully, Josh wasn't at fault for anything. It was just Luton fell apart. Josh Keeley couldn't do anything. Luton have a lot to improve on if they're going to try and get back into maybe get an automatic promotion or even playoffs at this stage. So yeah, not a great weekend for Josh Keeley in goal. Max O'Leary still not going to get his place. I wonder now, is he going to try and get a move in January to try and break back into the Ireland squad? But I still don't see him getting in over Travers, even though Travers is never going to play. And yeah, that's it really. Obviously Gavin had a good weekend, but with Southampton, it didn't have anything to do really. The goal they scored was just a good header, and then Queeveen got beaten by one unbelievable goal from Danny Welbeck. And who scored the second for Brighton? I can't even think. The second goal has gone on in my head. But yeah, and yeah. Anyway, before we go into the defenders, I may have forgotten to update the Everton players who were playing tonight because we were finished just before the show. But yeah, the Everton players may not be updated.
Okay, here we go.
Jack Hinchelman scored the second goal. Thanks, Keelers.
Right. Oh, okay. Right, here we go on to the defenders. So Robbie Brady still out injured for Preston North End. John Egan, 90 minutes in a 3-2 loss versus QPR. Seamus Coleman, 10 minutes today against Man United. Came off injured. Nathan Collins, 90 minutes in a 2-1 loss versus Brighton for Brentford. Matt Doherty still out injured for Wolves. And Joshua Honohan, season's finished. Jake O'Brien came on after 10 minutes, replacing Seamus Coleman this evening at Old Trafford. Andrew Omobamidele, 45 minutes in a 1-0 loss versus Lens. Farrell O'Shea, 90 minutes in a 0-0 draw versus Wrexham for Ipswich Town. Liam Scales, 90 minutes in a 1-0 win versus St Mirren. And James Banquo was an unused sub for Watford. Jimmy Dunn, 90 minutes and a goal in a 3-2 win versus Hull for QPR. Callum O'Dowda, injured for Ferencváros. Mark McGuinness, an unused sub for Sheffield United. Ryan Manning, 90 minutes and a goal and a 5-1 win versus Charlton for Southampton. Aaron Cashin, a unused sub for Birmingham. Anselmo Garcia McNulty, 72 minutes and a red card and a 2-2 draw versus Groningen. Will Ferry, 90 minutes and a 3-0 loss versus Falkirk for Dundee United. And Corian Darba, an unused sub for Lecce. And that is your defenders. There you go, Connor. See, I adapted. Impressed with that?
Yeah, no, you done well. Celtic simply saying the graphics are all over the place. Brian beat Manchester United. But Celtic did not listen to what I said. Anyway, but actually, good weekend in terms of goal scores from the back as well, wasn't it? Your boy Jimmy Dunn getting the equaliser for QPR with a lovely. In fairness, it was a lovely finish, and then they went on to get the winner. Jacob Bryan, I thought he'd done well tonight against United, although I thought he was playing against absolute dirt. United didn't really pose a threat, like he had to put his body in the line, much threatening. But Dave's best friend, Anselmo, got sent off. One of 3 red cards over the weekend, which we'll get into. It looks like Corian Daba's not getting a sniff at Lecce anymore, which isn't a good sign. Manning's goal was a really good header. I'd worry about Mark McGuinness now at Sheffield United. I know in the Championship you play a lot of games, you come in, you come out of the team. But they were really, really bad when he was starting, and he wasn't doing well at all. And then he came out there at the weekend and they beat Sheffield Wednesday 3-0. I know Sheffield Wednesday are really, really poor, but it's still the local derby that any team could kind of get up for. Good to see Obama Delhi play the second half the other day. I'm sure he'll start on Thursday. And then Coleman is the really disappointing one, isn't it? The fact he got 10 minutes tonight, he couldn't last 10 minutes. I noticed it straight away after like 5 or 6 minutes. The time Ahmed went past him, and then there was the next ball, and he turned around, and you could see the way he wasn't sprinting back, which wouldn't be like him. And he did look a bit off. And I'm not surprised, to be honest, Martin. He started 3 games in the last 11 days. The last time he started was for Ireland away at home to Armenia. And then he went and played 3 games in 11 days. I know a lot of people are saying, start him. And Moyes must have caved in because of how well he done with Ireland. And I'm sure Coleman is the type would say he's all right. But at 37 years of age, 3 starts in 11 days doesn't really make a huge amount of sense. I know you play once a week in the Premier League, but if I was managing, I know it's all well and good in hindsight, but I probably would have said leave it to start for tonight, give him some minutes maybe off the bench, and then next weekend, which is because it's a short turnaround between the next game, maybe start him then, because at 37 years of age, he can't be playing twice a week, which you're not going to do it at Everton at the moment. But yeah, really, really disappointing to see him get injured. Now, it didn't seem to be all that bad because he was able to walk it off all right in terms of going down straight to the tunnel. I wouldn't have liked to been Idrissa Gueye actually in the dressing room with him after getting sent off and being just the 2 of them stuck in the change room after what had happened. But fair to say, I think that was harsh as well. But yeah, really disappointing to see Coleman get injured, but I'm sure he's all right. And if he's wrapped in if he's wrapped in cotton wool until March, I'd be happy enough.
Yeah, I think with that though, Seamus, a couple of things struck me. I mean, I think I was looking at, unless they get him in the FA Cup, it could be Seamus's last appearance at Old Trafford. Nice for him to come out as captain as well, and I'm sure he got a tremendous kind of not that he announced any retirement or anything like that, but he's always given a warm welcome wherever he goes. I think really because everyone just knows.
I don't think so. Legend. I think they were shouting. I think when he was going off, they were saying USC.
No, yeah, a little bit of that. You heard that, but I think he was pissed off, wasn't he? He kicked the bottle. I don't know. He kicked something, didn't he? A bit of paper or something. But like you could just see, it was interesting. Gary Neville's comments though when he came off because he just went, "I've been there," and.
Gary Neville was doing my head in commentary tonight. Like, oh my god!
No, but I think what he's saying, like, my immediate thought of this was, I bet you Gary Neville will have a conversation with Roy Keane just to get his views. Where do you think Seamus Coleman is on this? Like, it might be discussed on the overlap or anything. It's not a big story. He's not like broken down, and he's not like he got torn apart or anything. He came off injured. I know, so I'm not overreacting on this. But my point is, for him to say, I've been there and stuff. When I saw the bit when the ball came into Ahmad and Ahmad span him, I saw that and I thought, this could be a tough night now here. And I was thinking to myself, the 3 games, and he didn't seem to be moving well. And the ball he actually went back. He didn't go all the way back into like the back 4 line. He kind of just stayed and he intercepted it really well. And then he just knocked it inside. But he did seem a bit leggy even in that 10 minutes. So, something wasn't right. You can kind of pick it out on him. But yeah, look, I'm I'm hoping he'll be back soon. You know,
Oh,
because he
wait,
brought
Gary
he brings
Neville.
quite
Like Gary Neville just thinks that he was Seamus Coleman because he went to the was he 38 when he retired or so, 36 or so.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Coleman still can do it to the end of the season and particularly to the World Cup anyway, because that's his goal. He's going to lead us to a World Cup, and as we said, Martin, he's going to lead us out of the World Cup.
Yeah, there are a lot of parallels with this. And our last World Cup 2002, when it was like Steve Staunton was like our elder statesman then. Wasn't supposed to be captain, wasn't supposed to be playing as much either. Of course, circumstances dictated that he did. You know, I think he's 100th cap against that in Ibaraki that night when Robbie Keane got the equaliser for Ireland. So that was incredible. And sometimes things work out like that. So yeah, we're hoping he's going to be there, and it could just be he might be limited with it, and it could just be for one game that he performs and he has to come in. And yeah, look, let's get there first, of course. Right, so let's just get on to the midfielders. Here we go. So Jason Knight, 30 minutes back from injury, 3-0 win versus Swansea. Killian Phillips, 90 minutes and 1-0 loss versus Celtic. Will Smallbone out injured at Millwall. Jack Taylor, 75 minutes in a 0-0 draw versus Wrexham for Ipswich. John Joe Patrick Finn, 20 minutes in a 3-1 win versus Bastia. Josh Cullen, 90 minutes in a 2-0 loss versus Chelsea. Benazaz, 65 minutes and 2 goals and 5-1 win versus Charlton. Mark Sykes got 30 minutes for the 3-0 win versus Swansea. Jason Malumbi, 49 minutes and a red card. 3-2 loss versus Coventry. Andy Moran, 75 minutes and a penalty scored for LAFC. Jamie McGrath, 59 minutes and a goal and a 2-0 win versus Dundee. Alan Brown, 90 minutes in a 1-1 draw versus Oxford. And Boston Wow, an unused sub for Stoke City, but great to see him back. Connor Coventry, 90 minutes in a 5-1 loss versus Southampton. And Joe Hodge, 48 minutes and a penalty goal in... Who was that against?
They lost in a Caldas or something in penalty shootout.
Oh, right, yeah.
2 Irishmen that lost in a penalty shootout over the weekend. And honestly, Lumby decided to get sent off, which I actually do think the second yellow was a bit... It was stupid to even consider doing something like that, but I do think it was slightly harsh, but he did let his team down, probably cost him the win in the end, especially with the Coventry. But anyway, great to see Jason Knight back after, what was he missing, 6 weeks, 8 weeks? So good to finally see him back, and obviously good to see Boston back on the bench. Andy Moran's time, from what I've heard, is up in LA now, I believed, according to my sources. He has turned down a permanent move in LA, who have wanted to keep him really, really desperately because he's how good he is. But the manager that's there decided to not play with a number 10 when he signed, and well, I think it may have been sold a dream. So yeah, I think that's him gone back, and he'll be back in Europe. I don't know whether he'll go stay at Brighton or he'll head out on loan again. But yeah, he actually done quite well. He came on at half time the other day. He he set up a Youngman's son's goal. He didn't get the assist because he knocked down the header and son, and then the keeper saved it and he came straight back to him. But he did set up, and then he scored his penalty in the shootout. Obviously Joe Hod lost some penalties as well. Coventry was in the back of an absolute hiding from Southampton, which Finn Azaz played a massive part in. 2 goals in the first half, 2 really good goals, played really well. Finny Est is back. He's been really, really struggling at those lots so far at Southampton, and he's finally seems like he's turning around now. He done really well for Ireland in the last 20 minutes against against Hungary. So yeah, he done really well. So hopefully it's just the start. Hopefully it's just the start of Finn Azaz's turnaround into being a top Southampton player rather than just really doing well at like maybe your mid-tier championship sides. If you can do it at the top side, then hopefully if they go up. And then Jimmy McGrath scored again at the weekend. He's doing really well. So yeah, it actually was another really positive weekend for midfielders. So hopefully this can continue.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Finn Azaz's brilliant. I mean, it just shows you that Southampton, you look at like Bazuni's back in number 1 now. Ryan Manning scoring form. They've turned the corner a little bit at Southampton. Finn Azaz, it was a struggling team there. They got rid of the manager. And Finn Azaz has started to step up after that move. So, yeah, fantastic for him.
And Bazuni's come back in there.
Yeah. Any crack with so King Bossum, what's the crack?
There's no crack. He was back at the weekend. Don't know why he didn't play, to be honest. I think maybe because they were chasing the game and maybe they were bringing on. They dominated. Leicester had the game on for the last half an hour, waiting for them to come on to see how we do. But they were chasing the game, so I think they just brought on attacking midfielders and stuff, and they were dominating Leicester, but they still lost anyway. So yeah, so it wasn't maybe I don't know, but I still would have brought them on anyway if I was the manager, and maybe I was proven right because they lost 2-1.
Okay, right. We're going to come on now to the attackers. Here we go. Festia Basele, 10 minutes and a red card for Istanbul Başakşehir. Evan Ferguson, 30 minutes and a goal, as we've discussed already. 3-1 win for them. Adamida, 90 minutes and a 3-0 loss versus Bristol City for Swansea. Casey McAteer only got 6 minutes and a 0-0 draw versus Wrexham. Troy Parrott, 90 minutes and another goal and a 3-1 loss versus Yerevan. Sammy Schmodix, out injured at the moment, Ipswich Town. Sinclair Armstrong, 80 minutes and a 3-0 win versus Swansea for Bristol City. And Mikey Johnson, 45 minutes and 2 assists in 3-2 loss versus Coventry. Rocco Vatters out injured at present. Tom Cannon, 10 minutes and a goal and a 3-0 win versus Sheffield Wednesday for Sheffield United. His first goal for the club. Chidozie Ogbene is out injured. Michael Obafemi, an unused sub for Bochum. Tyler Goodrum, 63 minutes and a 1-1 draw versus Borough. Adomo Amaku, 30 minutes and an assist, 3-1 loss versus Portsmouth. Johnny Kenny, 45 minutes, got hooked, didn't he? 1-0 win versus St Mirren. Louis Barry, not in the squad for Sheffield United. And yeah, good to see some of them players back in Obig.
Yeah, the Goodrum's earned his spot back in. I unhit him at that today. But anyway, yeah. Festi today got sent off. Barton, don't know if you've seen the tackle. No. Never a red card after 10 minutes. So like I can't believe he got sent off, to be honest with you. Really disappointing for Festi, who's obviously was first starting quite a while, and he didn't start for Ireland either game, so it was a chance for him to come. And he got done over by VAR as well in Turkey. So I think it looked like your boy actually broke his ankle in the tackle, but that was the problem. Your boy's leg was in the wrong place, and it ended up taking Mr. Ebiseli off the pitch, which was a disgraceful decision by the ref. Probably bought into what was going on. And yeah, from his point of view, quite disappointing for Festi, who has done. We all love Festi, don't we? Other than that, obviously, we've already spoke about how 11's done. Casey McAteer still can't get back in. Troy still scoring. Mikey Johnson was a really, really strange one. 2 assists in the first half. 2 really, really good assists. And he got hooked at halftime. I believe someone did say that he did for their Coventry's first goal to make it 2-1 just before halftime. He did give the ball away or something, and he didn't track back. So maybe Ryan Mason took that personally or something. But it was very strange that he took Johnson off at halftime, if that was even the reason. Great to see Tom Cannon actually get his first goal of the season. Been a really, really tough season for him. Gets a lot of abuse off Sheffield United fans, which seems to be a common thing with Irish players. Well, it is a thing with players in general if they're struggling. But he did score a nice goal in fairness to him. He done well. So fair play to Tom Cannon getting that goal. Just going straight. But Obafemi still can't get in the team. Johnny Kenny, very strange, got hooked at halftime as well for Celtic. They were playing really bad, and he kind of got the boot because of it. He took it at halftime. Ido Mako got an assist for Portsmouth, which was really good to see. And then it was the Rep Tracker versus Celtic Symphony derby at 12:30 on Saturday. Sinclair Armstrong versus Adamida, and to say it lightly, Sinclair Armstrong got the better of Ida, which is I don't like people act like I care about like who gets better who. I want both of them to score and do well, and in fairness, Ida had nothing really to play off the whole game. Swansea were dreadful. Darren O'Dea was the interim manager. I've seen they've appointed the Maritimo manager as their new gaffer, but yeah, Ida couldn't get in the game at all. And obviously he'll get abuse from Swansea fans for not being in the game. And he had one chance where he maybe should have done better. But Sinclair was really, really good for Bristol, I thought. Hold up, run, play behind. Keeper made an unbelievable save from him in the second half. So only him, he's the only player that sort of luck that it would get held against him. So yeah, quite disappointing he didn't get the goal in, but I thought Sinclair was brilliant, and you could see it. He went off a cramp with 10 minutes ago, which shows what sort of shift he put in. So he's doing really well at the moment. So it's good to see. He's kind of won Bristol City fans over, Martin, as you've seen. He's got so much abuse off them at the start of the season, and particularly that interview he done actually over the international, or maybe it was before with a local reporter in Bristol. I thought it was absolutely outstanding to hear him speak and the way he speaks about football and himself, and you can just tell his attitude is absolutely elite. I'd say, to put it lightly, and just someone who isn't on IBIG, who may have to get included sooner rather than later again, is Aaron Conley. 8 goals at the weekend. Really, really good finish. Doing really well with Leyton Orient. And the issue with Aaron Conley now is he's actually like, he's too good for League One. I know it's hard to say our players too, but he is too good for League One. He's not a League One player, and he's probably in his best form that he's been in like 4 years, since maybe his first year at Hull, or his first loan spell at Hull. It's the best form he's been in since then. So it's good to see him scoring a goal. But like, it's the problem now, Martin. I know what you think the same. It's like, for his sake, he probably thinks he could get in that Ireland squad again if he gets a move in January. But and the thing is, do you want to leave where you're doing really well after what he's been through over the last couple of years? Is it worth taking that risk and going on to go somewhere else? So it's not the greatest way, but just some other attackers done quite well over the weekend. Armstrong Okuflex, anyone remembers Plovdiv, where Ireland played for the weekend? He scored 6 goals in signing for them. He's doing really well. I think he's 6 goals in 8 games, maybe. One of the games got abandoned, actually, the local Plovdiv derby, which shows what their football is like over there. But yeah, he's doing really well, in fairness. And I was checking their coefficient earlier in Bulgaria, and it's higher ranked in the League of Ireland. So if he does really well there, he could get a really good move from here, because he is an excellent player. Jimmy Mullins got a lovely assist for Lincoln at the weekend. Jonathan Afolabi, who's kind of become the forgotten man, Martin, of Irish football. Do you remember he got called up a couple of years ago for the Netherlands game? He made his return at the weekend, scored his very first touch for Kortrijk against Lovell. He came on the 94th minute, scored in the 95th, which was good to see. Probably not a great thing that he's come on the 94th minute, but he you could see his post after saying he'd been playing through pain for a year. He was playing in the Dutch second tier, now he's playing in the Belgian second tier. But if he does really well there, he won't be in the second tier for very long, but it's up to him maybe to turn it around. So yeah, it was a really, really good weekend, Martin, from an Irish point of view. I was really happy with how it done. Good to see actually another one of your London Irishmen. Danny McNamara made his first start for our appearance from, I think it was his first appearance for Millwall in 10 months, and then came straight into starting 11. So he started for them against Portsmouth the other day. So things are really starting to look up. A lot of Irish lads doing really well. Oh, and yes, Frank said there, Kevin O'Toole, forgot about that. I was meant to put a post out there saying he's the last Irish player left in MLS playoffs, because obviously Andy got knocked out, and yeah, they won 1-0 last night in the MLS playoffs. They've advanced to the Eastern Conference Final, where they play against Inter Miami and Messi. So yeah, but fair play to Kevin O'Toole. He's the last man standing for Irish players. So hopefully he can kick on and do well, and he's given people something to hope for. Maybe Irish Americans playing abroad, that they can get to that next level. But yeah, really, really good weekend from an Irish point of view. I don't know what you feel at, just Martin, from the attackers, anything stand out to you there?
Yeah, I mean, look, Aaron Conley, the Real Rep Tracker told me he scored, so I was interested hearing about that, because he reckoned I should be putting another Euro in for heads in the game, because Aaron Conley scored, and why is he not on no big? But yeah, look, we're following everyone, of course, and it's fantastic to see them all in really good form. So, it's a massive incentive, isn't it? Try and get in this squad for March now. People have carried injuries and missed out, and are thinking now we're 2 games away from a World Cup. It's not a long time away at all. Massive opportunity, and really you've got to be performing now. I always made the point on this. The last few years we've been chatting on this. I think January is such an important from 2 perspectives for Irish players. It used to always be a thing. I used to think if lads who weren't getting game time were waiting for that FA Cup to kind of get game time for some of the bigger teams. I remember, when they weren't kind of the first players in the team sheets for their teams, get an opportunity in the cup, because there was a little bit more rotation in that. But also the transfer window, people are asking here, aren't they? We're going to come on to your comments very soon, of course. But, players who aren't playing regularly, do they've got to think, do they need to get out? Like Mark McGuinness, does he need to try and get away from there to give a push anyway? Can he get out to even get a loan move, perhaps? So he's going to be playing regularly. Let's not forget, he played against England in Wembley in the starting 11 that game. And did very well in the first half, until Liam Scales, of course, got sent off and changed the game completely. But, you've got some players there really need to think about pushing the goalkeeper situation. None of them, a few of them aren't playing. Are they at risk? Josh Keeley, is he going to make a late run for this World Cup squad? Very, very, for me, I think he should be someone that we are looking at, because he's playing more regularly than anyone else, who, as the backup goalkeepers. So, goal scorers as well. Aaron Conley's got to be thinking, it's an opportunity for me. Casey McAteer's probably got to be a bit worried now. Seems to be the kind of darling of Heimer in June. Hasn't really played since. It's
He
just
could
an interesting
benefit.
challenge. It's a great dynamic, isn't it?
Yeah, he could benefit off Festi being suspended for the first game, but the just a lot of competition. Obviously, Rocco Vat will be back in January. He'll be back,
Yeah.
I think, back playing in January. So there's a lot of lads, as you said. We should actually, it'll be worth doing a show yet, Martin.
Yeah, of course we have
Uh,
to.
because the likes of Andy Moore, massive January for him.
Yeah.
Obviously, Aaron Connolly, Michael Wafemi. I do think Michael Wafemi will eventually break into the Bockham team because he hasn't played in quite a while. So hopefully he does. Louis Barry, who I thought would have been broken in at this stage. I think we all thought because he was judged well he done last season, and it just hasn't got going at Sheffield United. And obviously, Mr. Wilder is not a fan of him so far anyway. So he'll obviously go back to Villa in January and then get another loan move. But I'm sure he'll just go to another championship club, or he could go abroad because he's the type of player because of his size would do really well. Abroad. Other like Casey McTeer, as you said. So there's quite a few, like even in midfielders wise, like Will Smallbone is Millwall the right place to be to stay in the Ireland team. It's hard to know like who exactly. Like obviously you said Martin Guinness and Selmo Garcia McNulty is another really I think should be looking to get a move in January now if he wants to get into the squad or even get near the squad. Luke O'Connell at Barnsley. I think Luke O'Connell should be getting he shouldn't be in the League One anymore anyway. I know he struggled last season. He struggled really badly from having long COVID, but like he should be playing in League One. He's too good for League One. So he should be looking to get to a higher level. So there's quite a few lads, Martin, that if they get a move in January, they could be right in the picture. But it's very hard to break into the picture at this stage if you don't go and hit the ground running straight away. But as we would say, God loves a trier, and take that risk on yourself and put your career, because you're not putting your career on the line because a lot of these lads have established themselves enough over the last 4 or 5 years to proven that they're good players no matter what level they go to. And even if it doesn't work out in the first 6 months at one club, they'll always get another club. So there's quite a few. Even Josh Honan, it looks like he is definitely going to leave Rovers in January. But it's like, is Lincoln City the right place? Like, is League One to get in the Ireland team? And I'm sure he wants to get in. And the problem is, it's hard to know when you're going to the League of Ireland to England what level you should go to straight away, and should be League One for a period of time and hopefully get the championship after that. But the sky's the limit for him, especially with his ability and his versatility. So there's so many lads that could get in, and I know people probably could put in the comments a couple of lads maybe that they think need a move in January to extend their hopes of breaking into this Ireland squad.
Yeah, because just thinking even just in my head there, I was thinking the types of like Robbie Brady, if he can get back fit, he probably would be one of the starting players for us in that position.
He walked straight into the squad anyway.
So that's a difficult thing as well. Boston, a massive opportunity. I know he's been in Ireland squads, but never yet played. But you sometimes have that in World Cups because like I'm thinking March even. Just sometimes you can have a player and have that massive impact around it. So yeah, looking forward to it, of course.
Yeah.
And you do. I'm going to be a little bit negative now. You always get one who just, I'm thinking of cousin Will, to be honest, right? He's got to get back, and the temptation is to rush back sometimes, isn't it? And then you can break down, and then you're out, and you're gone for the season.
He's going to really struggle. He's going to really struggle because it's hard to know where he fits in this Ireland squad with
it is.
Cullen. Obviously, Cullen, Malumbi are kind of the main two, aren't they? And then at the moment, and then you have Knight, who was one, and he's definitely going to be in a small one if it's there. And then Taylor's doing well, and then if Boston comes in and does really well between now and March, which I expect him to just hit the ground running again when he's back at Stoke, I'm sure they play midweek, so we'll have a midweek show if anyone's wondering, because a lot of the lads are playing midweek, and actually UEFA Youth League's back as well tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to that as well. So so it is one of those ones that someone like Smallbone could easily miss out in the squad, because Malumbi we seen missed out and instantly became a key player again. And actually, Martin, just something I've put on Twitter, we put on the Roar page earlier on Twitter, I'm going to put up on Instagram in a minute as well, is Dave. This is a Dave idea. Dave has been emphasised all bloody week, I think. The question is, should Heimer Halgrimsson be rewarded with a new deal after guiding Ireland to the playoffs? Obviously, give us your say and why. And the answers are yes, no, wait until March. I think I would hesitate to go to the latter. I think we should wait until March until making a final decision what to do, because if the qualification end now and it was only one team qualified, I probably would give him a new contract, because finishing second in this group was quite an achievement, or not an achievement, but it's a well-earned position to be in. And just give us your thoughts on that, because we're going to do a video on that, and we're going to do a call-in show, because I know a few people have been asking for a call-in show, which will be coming very soon for people to give their thoughts on stuff. Dave will probably hide that to not come in. So, just I thought I'd say that.
Right. Okay. Right. We're going to get on to a bit of the show that we love with your interaction. And yep, we've been going for about nearly an hour now. So we'll try and explain the context of some of the comments, of course. But yeah, this is your comments. Okay. If you haven't already subscribed to the show, please do so. And if you do want to support us, don't forget you can buy us a coffee. There's a link in the description below. But do turn on your notifications. Do subscribe. Nearly 1,500 of you watching this evening, which is incredible.
Yeah. Tell them what's going to be on Raw Plus this week, Mark.
What's going to be on Raw Plus? Because I don't know. You tell me.
Obviously, there's going to be a state of play where we rinse
there's going to be a state of play. Yeah, we're doing a Raw Retro, I think.
Yeah, he's doing a Raw. I'm not part of it. That's you and Dave are doing a Raw Retro.
Yeah.
And then there'll be tomorrow. I will upload a Team of the Week from last weekend, which will be very, very actually enjoyable to make over the weekend, because it's been quite a positive week, and I think the team will sort of pick itself. But yeah, I'll have a Team of the Week up this week.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, so if you do want to support the show as well, you can follow us on Lansdowne Raw Plus, $4.99 and mouthful over the place this evening, $4.99 a month in whatever currency you play. But yeah, thank you for your support of that. We've got a number of you watching along this evening. And yeah, hope you're enjoying that and all the content. It gets very, very busy around the international weekend. But yeah, we're going to get back to that Raw Retro and the state of play as our take on all things football. So there's lots to chat about. Man United, Liverpool, Premier League, Champions League, all sorts of football. And yeah, we hope you're enjoying that anyway. But thank you for your support. It makes a big difference to how we can kind of work on bringing you more and more content out there. Right, here we go. First comment of this evening just said 1-0 Parrott. There you go, from Led Zeppelin. Then we had Adam Curtis, who was one of our Raw Plus subscribers. Ireland players bringing their form for the World Cup games to club level. It's great to see. Yes, it is. Yeah, brilliant. David Levy 3372. So by all accounts, Jacob Bryan had a solid game for Everton tonight. Good to see. Was it good to see, Connor?
Obviously good to see Irish play do well, but like probably the wrong game to do well in. But yeah, fair play to him. He done all right when he came. Well, I don't know. I guess he was solid, but like United were so crap that you'd expect him to be solid on a night like that. A lot of just heading balls away and stuff. Not the disrespect of performance, but it shouldn't be the sort of thing that we are massively praised.
Yeah, interesting one. This one. This is from Ad Good of Ogford. I'm going to spread a few home truths here. That Schmodix received dog's abuse when he pulled out of an international and played a few days later. Yet the superstar boy Ferguson repeated the same thing, and it was only called out once on Twitter. The foreign-born player bias is still rampant. Thoughts on that, Connor?
Very over the top. I've seen people try to call out Ferguson as well over it, which I think is even more ridiculous. The reality is, Evan Ferguson was injured. You're going to return at some stage. He didn't start, and I think with Smolix, I don't want to, because I know Smolix was injured, but Smolix came straight back in and started. It was like 4 days later after missing the Ireland squad, or missing the second Ireland game. So calm down with that. And Ferguson was injured. Simply was injured. Both players were injured, and Ferguson recovered from injury and was fit enough to play 30 minutes. He hadn't trained at all last week, and he returned to training this week, so he's going to have to play eventually. Like, and he came on with 30 minutes to go and done really well. He wanted to go away with Ireland. He was desperate to go away with Ireland. In October, he played through an injury to play for Ireland because it means everything to play for Ireland for him. So I don't know why people have to go with Ferguson. He would have done everything to play for Ireland over that last camp and simply wasn't fit. And it takes a bigger man to admit maybe in the end that I'm not fit enough. He could have maybe played at 20%. And yeah, so I don't think we can really give out to him, especially when he said, I can only play from 20 or 30%, whilst we had a 100% fully fit Parrott who's at his very best and has guided us to a playoff. So it's just people complaining for the sake of it. It's ridiculous.
Yep, no, I agree with you completely on that. I don't think there's a foreign-born player bias either, to be honest with that. So it says hello to me, right, Prendy? Nearly, is Coleman's injury bad? I don't know. He just went off after 10 minutes, but yeah, it just seemed to be him managing it, and managing something he felt anyway. At Clem Fandango 619, United, I give my arse a headache. And KK Keelers, do we reckon KDH could have his head turned by Coleman still? That's Dewsbury Hall. Class tonight would raise our ceiling. No, it's over there.
No, and I don't want him. At this
And I
stage, I
seen
don't want to.
did you see well, I know you watched the match tonight, you see Thomas Tuchel there watching it, and did you see who was sitting next to him?
No, I didn't see it.
Anthony Barry.
Well, that is an assistant manager.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But
I'm just
yeah,
an Irish link to it.
I don't. Yeah, but at this stage, like I only want lads that really want to play for Ireland, and I don't think it. If it meant it comes to World Cup and Jason will be missed out a spot in the World Cup with Ireland over Kieran and Hall, who is just choosing it as a platform for himself, I would be disgusted.
Yeah. Yeah, and I agree with you completely. He's come out with it. And I'm actually quite pleased that he said what he did, and he's put his he's saying where he feels his loyalty will be, and interesting, he's done so quite well and on the radar of England, of course. Harrison says, "Evening, nice to see the Irish lads performing for their clubs for once. Why did Ferguson shush the fans when he scored? I'll never get the attitude of these modern footballers. 1 goal in a year."
Maybe because he gets dogs abuse, but the problem is Harrison. The biggest thing with modern footballers is they get absolutely destroyed online, which it was never before, and everyone's abusing them like mad, especially in a place like Italy, especially even off Irish fans as well, having a go at him. Even though we benefited from him not so badly, but we did benefit because Troy Parrott scored 5 goals in 2 games. But yeah, I personally wouldn't shush fans. Tom Callan cupped his ears to the Sheffield United fans after he scored. So just one of those things. If he plays well and does well, it doesn't kind of bother me. But yeah, he just has to back it up now and just keep playing well.
Yep. Michael Keaton says, as a United fan, that was awful to watch. Paul Carroll says, well, lads. Well, Paul. Finn and Darcy, what's a successful season now for Ferguson in relation to GA?
15. I don't know. It just matters if he stays fit, like and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, they're still in Europe, aren't they? Roma. Still play
yeah, they're still in Europe. Yeah.
So
so I actually don't know what I don't know what to expect at this stage. But if you got 15, he's able to go and score a hat trick in his next game or something mad because he's that much talent.
Yeah.
But yeah, just wait and see, really.
Yeah. Okay. And also, just as in today's market, how much is Parrott worth, and would you rather him go to Serie A, Premier League, Bundesliga, or La Liga if he had to move?
Bundesliga, I think. I think going to top Bundesliga team at the moment.
I think he'd be really
I do think Liga would he'd do quite well there as well, but at the moment, I would probably say Bundesliga.
Yeah,
but
I think
any
so.
top 5 league if we got the right. If it's all about it's about the right club more than the right league than anything, in my opinion. But it's about the right club.
Yeah. Okay. Adam Curtis, one of our Raw Plus supporters, are any players linked with moves in January from the national squad? There'll be loads, won't
there? At the moment, no one really. Can't think of. Can you think of any, Mr. Prendergast?
Troy will be, won't he? Troy is a little bit, isn't he?
Yeah, oh yeah, he is. But it's like Everton.
No.
It's a serious thing where bloody Everton are linked to everyone. Like everyone are. They're just linked to every single player. But the only worry I have with Andrew Moore coming down is a worry that Brighton are going to do something stupid. They're going to send him to Hearts on loan or something, because obviously Tony Bloom owns Hearts, and they're going to think, oh, how can we beat Celtic to the title? Oh, we'll get a player like Andy Moore's quality, and which would be a disaster going to a Scottish team. Like that would make me a very unhappy rep checker. So yeah, I hope they don't try and do something mad like that. But like a player of his quality, hopefully a very good European team will take him. But yeah, that's like I don't know. I don't think anyone else really has been heavily linked somewhere that looks concrete at this stage anyway. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, okay. And Frank, how you doing, Frank? Big supporter of the show. Parrott for Man United, badly needed. And then Clem says, Frank, he probably has more ambition.
Could you imagine him at United? I'd be buzzing though. I'd be buzzing if he gave United, but it would be the wrong move at this stage of his career. It's a massive jump from A to Z. And I keep seeing things about all these United journalists and United pages posting about, and Everton pages about Michael Noonan, scouts going to watch Michael Noonan at the World Cup, and did his most frustrating thing ever, posting like he's saying, it's like, no shit, every single club in Europe is watching Michael Noonan. Like, what, they're all there at the World Cup, and all their scouts are gonna be watching Michael Noonan while he's there. So it was just doing my head in. It's like people are falling. Like, oh my god, he's gonna sign for United. Like, there's no one, like, until a bid is put in by a club, or a bid is officially approached Shamrock Rovers, or something as concrete comes out that a club has actually made advanced talks. But if you're just saying you've scouts over watching a player, happens with hundreds of players across the world, and it's just doing my head in.
Yeah. Okay. Then Deckman 1999 says your boy Azad was on Flames on Saturday. Connor, give you a bit of praise for your love-in with Finn Azaz. And then here we go, Celtic. That puffy-haired lad up top for Man U, Zersky. Shocking. Even Armstrong could do better than Naplonka.
I thought he wasn't that bad tonight. Like, he had fucking Pickford made an unbelievable save from him, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
I thought it was the worst worries weren't there, actually.
Yeah. It was interesting game. Michael Keaton again. Hi, do you know, has there been any approach made to Jacob Murphy to play for us recently? He has been outstanding for Newcastle this season. And then Keelis actually says he's not eligible.
No, he's not eligible. Stephen Kenny said it years ago.
And then Paul Carroll, do you think any eligible players will try to get a look in now because we made the playoffs?
I think the one could be CJ. I think CJ Egan Riley Martin could be one. I know I heard that he was really considering it. I think it was going to happen last year at one stage, and then Carsey called him up to England 21s. But then when he went to World Cup or the Euros with England, he never really, I think he played off the last 10 minutes in the final and played extra time, but other than that, he never played. So maybe he might have been a bit disappointed with that. I remember he never posted about celebrating winning the Euros, and who doesn't on one time post about winning a major trophy. So I do think CJ Egan Riley could be one that we could see coming in, doing well at Marseille. Other than that, I don't know. Like, people talk about like Dennis Cirkin and stuff. Like, he's not playing for Sunderland. He's not going to make the Manchester squad anymore. With we'd have Ronaldo at left back, and then a few other options. So I don't think he's going to get a sniff there, especially with maybe he could be like a third option for Ireland at the moment, because Manning and Brady kind of are still, like, you'd probably say, still ahead of him at that stage. So I don't know who else could really come in, unless someone like Paul Nebel at Mainz decided he wanted to switch now, because he has spoke about it in the past quite openly that he loves Ireland. So maybe he could switch at this stage if he thinks it's the right thing, and he would actually be a massive addition on that left hand side. But yeah, I don't know if you think anyone else stands out, Martin. Do you?
No.
And people talk about getting lads that are in like 16, 17, and it's like, you're not bringing them in for a World Cup qualifier, and we're not just handing out drops.
It's not going to happen. This the kind of panel and the kind of outer panel is there. You know, like it's all that will happen is. But yeah, I don't think they're really looking too much. You know, tactically what they've been working on and what, you know, coming in, and they just want to have players who are fit and used to it, and you know,
the player is good enough.
Brady will be good.
Yeah. If someone can add something to the squad, to bring them in, but other than that, there's not many clear, and people are always looking for who's the next Granny Ruler, who's the next eligible player that could come in and make a difference. There's not a huge amount that are kind of on it, like Liam Delap, maybe you'd say, like something like that, but he's not going to come into this camp it's like Paul Nebel. We don't think he's going to come in. If he came available, yeah, great, we'd bring him in. But if they're not available, just move on. And like, there's certain lads people will be saying, like that Josh Key at Swansea, he's doing really, really badly at Swansea. We're not going to bring someone in like that. So, it has to be the right player if you're going to bring someone in.
I think if we'd have qualified already, and then you had March games as friendlies, that's where it could have been more feasible, I think. But the fact that you're going to have a squad who's going to be trying to get us to the finals, qualify, even that squad who do that, there'll be 2 or 3 perhaps who won't go to America, even on the back of that. So just with availability and injuries and things like that, and that's just the hardship of football. But hopefully they get the job done and they feel part of the squad, and that's just disappointing. Like, we'll always get you always get a player from near enough every country who misses out on the World Cup for injury and things, don't you? We've had it before. So that's just something that will happen, I think, at times. Finn Darcy, you should do a Christmas football quiz. Would be very entertaining. Also, a great way to end a great year for you as a channel. Yep. Okay, we'll work on it.
Good idea. We'll do that.
I'll challenge. I can be the quiz master and challenge you two clowns. And
we could get someone else. We could get someone else to come on. Someone we know. We could get someone to come on and be the quiz master.
Yeah.
And it'd be a good laugh. See who knows the most. No, I wonder who'll come last.
Yeah. If you think, let us know who you think will come last out of the 3 of us, Dave, me, and Connor, and put us in the comments now. O'Donnell Carter, he says Irish Forest fan here. Welcome.
Well done on Saturday.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was enjoyable. Good Fod says, I know this is a bit of a stretch, but who are the 23 players who we called up for March currently saying
Oh,
we
stop.
have no injuries? We can't do that now. We're not being rude, but
Right.
we'll do it.
Basically,
We'll
the
do.
last squad plus the people that are injured.
Yeah. We will do it though. We will have a little chat and speculate a bit about that of who we'd like to see, but we will.
You
do a
could have
show on
said
that.
the
We've
starting
done the
11 and we would have answered, but 23-man squad, Jesus.
it's very difficult. Yeah. Here we go. This is at Snapper says, stick to the away fans in the nosebleeds. Heimer is right in case there is a penalty shootout. This is what we're talking about. Heimer suggesting that we're too hospitable in Dublin. We've had a few technical issues tonight. It was just that the first stream didn't work at all. I saw it was live on X, so I closed and rejoined. Comments from original stream were gone. Okay. A few technical issues with the show tonight, but Dave hopefully will never let that happen again. World Cup says O'Donnell Carter again. Hopefully, yeah. A few emojis of Ireland. We've done the one about that. The Celtic Symphony, the gay lad for Everton was hard done by. That Keane lad was asking for it, giving him neck. If you ask me, he's always on it. That fucker. That was gay. He got sent off the season. What did you think on that? Just quickly.
Wasn't a red.
But I think it was. He does connect with him, and you can't.
If you hit someone on the other team with that, you've probably got a 5-match ban. So it is. You shouldn't be. It's ridiculous even doing that. But
I don't think Keane was particularly confrontational to him,
he did
and he just lost it, didn't he? Yeah, but still, he didn't go above, and it'd be interesting. Shane was a bit on the pitch at that stage, but a lot of goals and red cards this weekend, says Nick. Another football little post there. Par Island. Heimer's right. The away fans for the Portugal game had amazing seats. We should be selling those great seats to our own fans, but the away fans where they will have as little impact as possible. With a load of netting as well. So it simply says Coleman was playing well before he was hooked. And then Donna Carter says Coleman took off versus United tonight. Harrison says Dewsbury Hall was sublime tonight, guys. The England manager was also on site. He will not be playing for us. He made that menu look like the maggot in the 62nd minute. Okay. Hi lads, love the show, says Al Doyle. Love the show. The reality is, Connor says the reality is a lot. Yeah, we all have our little.
We never said it again. No?
Yeah. Michael Keaton also says, I think Dewsbury Hall find it hard to break into the England team. They have so many talented players in that area. KKK, what kind of name is that now? Christ. Frank O'Connor says, already a flights and hotel booked for Prague and then back to Dublin. Now I just need a ticket. Come on, you boys in green. Daniel Mullen, I think Heimer is right. We should have both ends behind the goals and have the away fans up high so there's less of them and they're not as noisy. Nick throws up 3 parrot emojis for the hat trick, of course. And Rory says, I've been on a tour for a tour of Boca Juniors ground. In the early 2000s, the boys would spread butter and cream cheese over the walls of the away end. It would insulate it and make the end like a hot press.
Good man, Rory.
Okay. Czechia hit Daniel Mallon says Czechia and Denmark will be pecked by the parrot in March. We love a little quip, don't we? A little pun. Do similar, says Rory. Keeler's changed it for your pal Celtic Symphony. Oh, he's not anymore. He's not KKK anymore. Clem says, no way. This is in relation to Troy. Way he is staying at AZ. And Daniel Mullen says, surely club come in for Troy either in January or next summer. I don't see him at AZ next season. Here you go, Connor. Joan Mulvihill. What's the story with Dennis Kirkin? Is there still a chance to get him?
Yeah, probably, but I don't think he's one we'd be looking to bring in immediately if we were.
Okay. Dennis Leonard says, hope he stays over in Holland. About Troy, the way them lads play footy is way better than most English clubs. So Symphony says, 81, is that the year you were born? I'm 68, baby. That's why I ask. Not many men in here my age, apart from Harrison and Prendy. Yeah. 68, Jesus. Mugged. Unbelievable. Oisin Fitzgerald. Connie, didn't you want Connor, I say, did you want Sinclair to start versus Portugal? Lol. Imagine we listened to you and never played Troy.
No, I would have played both, and I would have brought Sinclair off the bench to replace him. I still think he would have done a job off the bench, but it doesn't matter in the end, and it doesn't annoy me.
Yeah, Matter of opinions. We all have opinions, don't we? Clem Fandango says Robbie Keane played about 6 games in Italy. Gaelic edits. Devaney's doing well, lads. I got told by someone that he's highly appreciated at United. He's training most days with the first team.
He is,
I've heard that as well.
He's doing really well.
And that lad, he plays for England, doesn't he? The lad who was on the bench tonight, Lacey, is it?
Yeah, Shea Lacey, really good player, excellent player.
Rory at Rory 47428. 300 smackaroos to the flight to Prague, lads. That's some joke. I was working there the last day, so I couldn't book it when the draw came out. Ha ha ha. And good of God. If Tom Cannon starts banging in goals like he did before moving to Sheffield, would you take him over Ida?
Different types of strikers. It would kind of just depend on the goal scorer, really. It depends how Ida's doing, how he's doing, and other strikers are doing.
Lads, says Deck Mac 1999. Lads, what did you make of Rooney's comments about the celebrations in Budapest being over the top? Like, sure, any club country would celebrate like that in those sort of circumstances. And then Rory just says, very funny, I think Rooney would know about international success. To be fair, the Shrek looking weirdo. Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with the first few lines there anyway, what Rory said.
Yeah. And Monash Select thoughts in Scales and Festy being suspended for the playoffs and how bad it would affect us.
They're only suspended for the first game.
Yeah. Okay. And then Oshin just says, Aquilas, are you the fella from Twitter? I loved your tweets. And then he says, yes, I am, lad. Smooth intro, Martin. Thank you, Dave. And get your super chats in. Don't forget that, lads. If you're watching live.
Don't forget, that's Dave, such a money whore. That's what he is. Like, you're so rude, Dave.
Oh dear. What else is there now? Oshin Fitzgerald. Anyone got a ticket for Prague? I've never been to an away game, and I will pay over the odds. Okay. And then Mona Selic says only around 900 to 1,000 tickets for Prague. Some loyal season ticket holders won't even get them. It will be more loyal away fans who travel to games who probably, the criteria for the home games isn't. It's more people who go on the away portal and go. A lot of them may not get them as long as they've been allocated correctly. Rory says, you haven't a hope. Sorry to break it to you. Don't tell me you're one of the bandwagons who went to England with the massive allocation and thinks you deserve to be at home the game in Prague. Oshin says, here what? I saw it's like a 25,000 seat stadium. And Monica Selick says 19,000. We get 5% of the allocation. You've never been to an away. Ha ha ha.
Hey, skip half time, Martin. I think he could be on the way. I think he can skip. You can skip all
that. Celtic gives a shout out to Dave. We should skip this as well. But Ethan David, how's your Monday, young man? Young man, you're joking. Oshin Rory, you come up. Some of this we'll have to edit a little bit. Kim On says, feel like Everton would be the best option for Parrott if he was to move back to Premier League. Everton badly need a proper striker who is an eye for goal.
No, just your because Kim On's he's an Everton fan.
And he also says, anyone seen those Celtic fans pages saying they wouldn't mind Parrott, but they don't have the money. Holy delusion, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they are delusional. You can say that again.
Yeah. Oshin Fitzgerald 123 says another game Sinclair's didn't score in. Connor, digging you out on that one. And Kevin Zeppi says, Martin, how are you feeling after Ireland's win versus Hungary? Very happy. Still buzzing. Harrison D. There's never a nice feeling for Festy to injure a lad by accident. 2 years ago, a fullback tore his ACL chasing after me after I'd done him down the wing with a chop.
Good man, Harrison.
Celtic do have the money, says Monica Selick. Do have the money. The board just won't allow to spend a lot. Parrott will still never move to us, by the way. Nick also says, feel bad for Ida because that Swansea team creates nothing. Hopefully the new manager would improve them. Yeah, new manager there, isn't there? So, yeah. And Kim On also says, Harrison, I don't think Ferguson was shitting the Roma fans. Feel like it has been many Irish fans who have argued that he's shite. Same lot who say it's a championship level. There you go. And Kim on also says, of course, Parrott wouldn't join Celtic, way above that level. Just trying to have a look for this now. Kim on also says, Jack McGlynn from the MLS, but I don't think he wants to play for us. Yeah, that was something years ago, wasn't it? That
he's not eligible anymore.
Yeah. And yeah, Kim on also says he might not be eligible at this stage. And Gaelic Edits did quotes actually. Heimer said he wants to bring in dual nationals in March. Not sure of that one. I think he kind of was more meaning that you need to cast a net and granny rulers, as they kind of said. Is that Gaelic Edits also says Egan Riley has his Irish passport. Half his family are proudly Irish here in Manchester. Snapper is here in Andy Moore into Coventry. Anything on that?
Haven't heard of it.
Okay. And Goodacod, I know Boston wouldn't play in March, but surely he suits our play style way more than all the other midfielders.
Depends how he does between now. If he goes in the midfield for Stoke and starts tearing it up, there'll be a lot of pressure on Heimer to play him, and I do think he will cave in.
Yeah, I think so. He's been in the squad. John O'Shea talks about him a lot. Paddy McCarthy does as well. So that's another one. Knight should be nowhere near this team, in my opinion. Says Kim on. Seems like we function better without him. Luke O'Connor was definitely too good for League One, but he won't leave Barnsley because he's the club captain. They still might get promoted, says Nick.
He's the thing, he's out of contract in the summer, I believe, so they might, if he says he wants to go, might want to cash in.
Okay. And Frank says, thoughts on Nancy to Celtic, highly rated over here. Will be interesting to see if he can bring that form across to Scotland.
Frank, to be honest, I don't watch Columbus Crew, so I don't have a clue. Martin, do you know anything about Columbus Crew manager that's going to Celtic?
No, I do not. No. And Par Island says, I spent a lot of time in Rome, and our Roma fans love that celebration from Ferguson. And then Nick also says, never understood why Brighton don't just loan Moran to Union St. Gilloy, is it?
Yeah, the Belgian side. They're one of their affiliate clubs. It would be great to see them go there. Top of the Belgian league.
Wow. Okay. And then we've just got Sean Carley. We'll throw it up there. And there's about 100 of these messages just a Parrott. That's there's been some brilliant stuff online, of course, with the Parrott, obviously, still the little kind of memes and things like that. Kim on's final comment. Here we go. A friendly before the games in March would be very handy, in my opinion. Yeah, it's just not going to happen in the way the windows are scheduled, sadly. And yeah, but I think optimism's high. They'll be watching the lads now and stuff. The World Cup draw, of course, is on the 5th of December. We are going to be in it, which is fantastic, of course. So we'll know who we're going to be playing in America. Or Mexico, Canada for the World Cup. So that'll be something to look forward to. I know Heimer's going over there, isn't he, with the FAI to be part of the draw, which is got to be a bit strange as well if you're not fully in it yet. But yeah, we'll have that covered, of course, as well on the 5th.
I will do a watch along. No, we won't.
Well, it's a Friday the 5th, isn't it?
Yeah, we have something on the 4th. So
we do
have something on the 4th. So maybe we can, if it's a decent time.
We may be able to. Yeah. We are. We do have an event coming up in London. We'll announce it very, very soon. But we've got a former Irish player coming to join us. And it's going to be a lot of fun.
A few interesting things we'll be releasing very, very soon as well. So looking forward to Christmas.
Yes.
We will be uploading a lot on the lead up to Christmas. We might have a few ideas of what we're going to do to build up to Christmas. But yeah, it's going to be a very exciting month for the podcast and for Irish football, as we have a lot to look forward to, don't we, Martin?
Yeah, we've got lots to look forward to. Thank you for your support as well. Just over 1,500 of you watching on a Monday night, and we know life's busy at the moment. Obviously, we've had a very busy international window, but interest in Irish football is at an all-time high, which is amazing to see. I've seen so much stuff online. People are buying the retro shirts, people are selling shirts, trying to make a few quid for Christmas. There's a lot of stuff available out there now with Parrott themed and everything. But we do appreciate your support of the show. We've got lots of plans, as Connor said there, and Dave and Connor, they work incredibly hard on it. But we do thank you for your support. So make sure you have subscribed.
By the way, make sure you like this video if you enjoyed tonight's video.
Yeah, like the video, share the videos as well. Comment on all our stuff on social media as well. We're on Instagram, Facebook, of course, with Lansdowne Road, and Twitter. Follow Connor at Rep Tracker, myself at LRaw_pod. And thank you for the team as well. We've got some fantastic writers still. We don't give them a shout out enough, but all contribute to Lansdowne Raw. We do appreciate your support. Make sure you turn on your notifications so you know when we're doing our next shows. Some exciting content coming out the next few days. But thank you for your support this evening. And come on, you boys in green.